It's a lot different than Newfoundland, as you can imagine. And so where's the first place we send Yonas, but up in Red Sky Estates with Corey and Paige to live by the ocean. But anyway, what a great experience that was. And then we found some great Rotary families. All Jonas's families are Rotary. It's just the big family of Rotary. So after he finished living with Corey and Paige, he moved in with David and Jill Allison. Jill unexpectedly had to leave and go to Philadelphia because her daughter gave birth early to a child. And so David was a single parent of Yonas then throughout Christmas. And but he stuck in like true Rotary style and hosted him through. And then, of course, Alex 12. St. John's East really helped us out a lot this year. Alex 12 came forth, and Alex and Lori have been a phenomenal host. They've actually keep extending Jonas's stay there to the point, well, he's staying there till the end now. So I just really want to thank these families. Anyway, I'm going to get on to Jonas's presentation because I'm sure he's got a lot to talk about in his 10 months in Newfoundland. On to you, Yonas.
Hello, my name is Yonas, and I am an exchange student from Ethiopia. So now I'm going to start a bit about my year, and I'm going to introduce you with my family back home. I'm going to tell you some stories about Ethiopia, which is a bit surprising and exciting. And I'm going to show you some activities that I have done throughout the year. I hope you guys enjoy it. So as I said, my music choice of Newfoundland was the Icelander. It seems it's not working, but I hope the music choice would be a good Newfoundland song. Proceeding to my family, here you can see my family. So I have a brother and a sister. My brother is 13 and my sister is 7. She graduated last year and she's now grade 1. So the school year is the same as here back in Ethiopia. And so they actually started school in September, and both my brother and sister have finished school by now, so they're on summer break. And my father has a small shop, which you can see at that side. It's like a small shop which gives supplies like everyday foods and everything. And my mother is a housewife. She looks after my brother and sister. And this is what our house looks like. So that's our neighborhood, and the weather is always like that. We got the sun every day throughout the year. So Ethiopia is known to be like close to the equator. So when you first land to the airport, you could see a quote saying 365 days of sunshine. So we get sunshine every day, and which was very shocking for me to come here. not seeing a sun for like a week or 2 weeks. So the way I heard about the exchange program was through my Interact Club. So I was a member of Interact Club in my school. I joined it when I was in senior year, and I was in the board of directors, which we did some volunteering activities with my friends, visited some kids who were suffering with diabetes, and we did some games and having fun with them. So there was like a group channel, and we usually post events and everything, and one day there was this exchange program posted. And the thing about it was it was the first time the exchange program was held in Ethiopia. So there were no exchange students before that. So I'm proudly to say I'm the first exchange student from Ethiopia.
Yay! First one in Canada too, just
Wow.
And I'm proud to come to Newfoundland. although it wasn't my first choice because actually nobody knows about Newfoundland in Ethiopia. Most people know about Canada, maybe Toronto or Nova Scotia or New Brunswick, the big cities, but most people don't know about Newfoundland. And the first time when I see Newfoundland, I was like, where is this place? And I was seeing pictures like the jelly bean houses, the whales, and I was very excited to be here. And I had an amazing experience here. So this picture shows one of the things we did. We had our 61 years of anniversary for our Interact Club. So we were playing games with other Interact students. And so there are Rotary clubs in my country. And these Rotary clubs do a lot in the community. So that one shows Howie Family Health Center, which was one of the projects they did this year. So it's a project worth of 13 million Ethiopian birr. And the Howie Family, it's called the Howie Family Health Center. The region is called Aksum. So they built a health center in the region called Aksum in Ethiopia. There was only a single health center around there, so they had a problem with insufficient public health sector. So the health center is expected to serve 25,000 people around the community, and it's expected to ease the load of one and only Aksum hospital in the town.
Wow.
And before coming here, I used to go to Rotary Club meetings, and I've been to a couple of events which we had guest speakers and everything, and I was lucky to have a guest. I was lucky to go to one event, and we had a guest speaker who was an exchange student who was a Peace Fellowship Rotarian, and he was from Canada. He was born in Quebec, and he was a member of a Rotary Club of West Ottawa, I believe, and his name was Hugo. So I had the chance to meet the guy over there. So I talked with him. Like, he also told me, I think he've been here in St. John's, and he was telling me some things about Canada before I came here. So now I'm going to talk about a little bit about Ethiopia and where I'm located in Ethiopia. So I live in Ethiopia capital city, which is Addis Ababa, and the capital city has around 5 million people. So we're densely populated in the country. So in the country, you could see lots of buildings, like facilities and everything, but it's different in Ethiopia. Like, the cities and the rural areas are very different. So most of the tourists go, when they come to Ethiopia to visit, they usually go to the rural areas, which is outside the city, and there would be like different situations, like it's totally different. So if you go outside the city, there would be no access to water, or maybe there's like trees and forests, and there is wildlife. So here I have a picture of the city at night and in the day. So the city is very beautiful. We have big buildings, lots of infrastructures. And at the bottom, you can see a calendar. So in Ethiopia, we have a different calendar, which is unusual. So now in Ethiopia, it's 2016, not 2024. And the reason behind that is it's the same as the church, which is the birth of Jesus, but there is Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So they calculated the birth of Jesus in different way, and we're 7 years behind.
Wow.
So we're gonna turn 2017 in 3 months. So it's like 7 years different. So we have our own language, we have our own number, we have our own alphabet. You can look at some of the alphabets and the numbers over there. And the Ethiopian Airlines airport is the biggest airport in Ethiopia, in Africa. And it was my first time flying through the airport, so I had some troubles while passing through securities and everything. Like it was the first day I was coming here, it was very crowded. Lots of people were coming in and flying over to different countries. And the problem I had was I have never had a flight before, so I was relaxing with my time, and I was supposed to be there like 3 hours earlier. But I was there, but I spent much time outside saying goodbye to my family. So I was talking with them, just taking pictures and everything, and I got through, and I was stuck because there was like 100 people lining up just to go through security. And I was frustrated that I couldn't make it for my exchange year, and that was the challenge that I faced in the beginning of my exchange. So this was a picture taken at the airport. There are some Rotarians beside me. So when I was trying to apply for the exchange program, the one problem was, since I was the first exchange student, most of the people there didn't know what to do, or they were having some hard times to fill the application and go through the steps. So I had some Rotarians who were actively communicating with Jane, and she was giving them some advice and some explanations. So after that, I flew all the way from Ethiopia to Germany, Frankfurt, and Toronto. And after that, I flew to St. John's, Newfoundland. And I arrived, I think, Saturday. And there was jet lag and everything. And the second day, I've never been close to the ocean. I've never heard of the ocean sound and everything. And my first destination was CBS, like Conception's Base House. I grew up in a big city when there was like lots of people around. And I went to see, it was a night, and I didn't know much about where I was in. And in the morning I wake up and I was seeing the ocean. It was very, very beautiful place. And the weather, I think the weather in CBS is better than St. John's, I guess. We had some nice days. It was sunny, and I could hear the ocean sound while going to bed. And I spent some time with my family going on a boat. We had some boat ride on a pond, and we also went to see my host grandma, and my host sister and her cousin went singing a song, and we had a great time. And that was Pippin. He was like, as a kid, I love dogs, but as a kid, my parents wouldn't allow me to have dog around, and he was my first pet who was sleeping in my room, and it was a very nice time.
Oh.
And these were some of the activities we did with other exchange students. So that was a picture taken in farmers market in Moncton. So that was the Christmas weekend. We went on for Christmas parade, and we took some pictures around. So we went to farmers market, visited farmers and their products and everything. And this was a picture taken like 2 weeks ago. So I went for RILA, which is the Rotary Youth Leadership Award program. So I spent a week outside Newfoundland, and we were 33 exchange students, outbound and inbound, and we had some leadership programs. And we did it for 2 weekends. The first weekend I was a student, but the second weekend I was a facilitator. So I was helping out the kids with the activities we were doing. And this was some things I did with my club. This was around Christmas, and the other one was where I met the Lieutenant Governor. And since I told you I was the first exchange student, so it wasn't only me. I had a friend who was in New York, and me and her are the first exchange student in Ethiopia. So now she's in New York, USA. And this year, there were around 11 exchange students. You can see them over there. So those were my friends throughout the year when there were events held. They are from Switzerland, Italy, France, Belgium, Taiwan, and Brazil. And I told you I love pets and everything. So this is my best friend, Blue. And this was a picture taken yesterday. I was walking her around and we were playing inside the house. And there are some funny things about me. One is I'm scared of lobsters. So you can see in the picture I'm holding the lobster, like get it out of here. And the second thing funny about me is I always check for expiry dates in the house. So if anybody hosted me, I would go around and check for any products that are around and check for the dates. So you have to throw some stuff that were there for 5 years or more. And I'm not a fan of green leaves, or like if you give me meals and everything, I would leave most of the green, like broccoli or spinach or any salads. This was a picture taken at the rooms, and me and my second host family, David and Jill, were going to the rooms. So when I went to the rooms, I knew much about Newfoundland history, the wars, and when Newfoundland was isolated from Canada because it joined later. And I also learned much about the history of the Indigenous people. And I had a great time in the rooms, and I took some couple of pictures trying to see if I can fit in the soldiers. I was trying some outfits and trying to see the height requirements and everything. And when I came to my third host family, we had a big family, so whenever there was a party or when there were events, there was a big group of us. And the first picture is taken when we had a tea ceremony. So my third host family is more of an English. So we have like the UK foods, or they're more like English. So we had the tea ceremony. It was a great time. It was my first time for having tea ceremony. And the second picture was taken at the cabin. So I think cabin is more known here in Canada. So I never knew people could have second homes, like going away for weekends and having a great time with their host families. And that's one of the things that I love about Canada. So having a cabin is very convenient and very useful. So we go there and spend more time with families, play some card games. So that was taken at the cabin. We were playing some card games that I saw in Moncton, and I played with host families that were hosting me while I was there. And I brought it to home and we were playing some games. Yeah, this is it. And there is a final speech. This final speech is to all my friends that I have met throughout the year and to my host families. A year has passed now. We stand on the brink of returning to a world where we are surrounded by paradox and everything, and yet nothing being the same. In no time at all, we will reluctantly give our hugs and fighting the tears. We will say goodbye to people who were once just names on a sheet of paper, to return to people that we hugged and fought tears to say goodbye to before we ever left. We will leave our best friends to return to our best friends. We will go back to places we came from and go back to the same things we did last summer and every summer before, but with no idea how to proceed. We will come into town that same familiar road, and even though it has been a year, it will seem like only yesterday. As we walk into our old bedrooms, every emotion will pass through us. We reflect on the way our lives have changed and the people have become. We will realize the things that were most important to us a year ago don't seem to matter so much anymore, and the things we hold highest now. No one at home will ever understand who will you call first. How will you explain your exchange year to our friends? What are you going to fill your time with now? What has everyone been up to in the past few months? And how long before you start really missing how people from your host country differ from home? We start to realize how much things have changed, and that the hardest part of being an exchange student is balancing the two completely different worlds we now live in, trying desperately to hold onto everything, every memory, all while trying to understand what it all is we have to leave behind. We now know the meaning of true friendship. We know who we have kept in touch with over the past year and who we hold dearest to our hearts. We have left our worlds to deal with the real world. We have had our hearts broken. We have fallen in love. We have helped our best friends overcome heartaches, stresses, and deaths. We have had to be helped through the same things as well, and we have stayed up all night on the phone just to talk to a friend. There have been times where we have felt so helpless being hours away from home when we knew our families or friends needed us the most. And there are times when we knew we have made a difference. Just days from now, we will leave. Just days from now, we take down our pictures and pack up our clothes. No more walking into town just to take a walk. No more speaking our second language every day. No, we will leave our friends whose random emails and phone calls brought us to laughter and tears. We will take our memories and dreams and split them away from now, saving them from our return to that world. The world where we learn to grow up and be our own person. Just days from now, we will arrive. Just days from now, we will unpack our bags and have dinner with our families. We will return to the same friends whose random emails and phone calls have brought us to laughter and tears over the year. We will unpack old dreams and memories that have just been put away for the past year. In just days, we will dig deep inside to find the strength and conviction to adjust, change, and still keep each other close. And somehow, in some way, we will find our place between those two worlds. In just days. Thank you very much.